Hello, Summoners. I'm Sparthus,
And I'm Mr. Robot.
and this is the League of Carmel, brought to you by Lady Luck Productions.
And sponsored by CBN, the Caravan Broadcast Network.
1, 2, 3, go. All right, so we start off with CPG and BYL.
Yeah, CPG on the blue side getting the first ban of Wukong. A very good pick, as we saw in the last game, doing a lot of good AoE damage in team fights.
And we have Cho'Gath on the CPG pick. I mean, the BYL pick. I'm not a really big fan of Cho'Gath in threes.
Yeah, he's interesting.
How do you feel about
'cause
that,
if
Mr.
you-
Robot?
Yeah, it's interesting, because if you don't land the knockup, he's pretty much useless, because his fear doesn't deal that much damage. Or, sorry, his silence doesn't deal that much damage.
And threes is a pretty bruiser-dominant game. So his silence is pretty much useless when it comes to threes. It's because you have Kha'Zixes, like as we see right now,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, and especially with the other bans with Zac and Trundle for CPG. Very good bans because well, Zac is really good because he can go over walls and stuff, just like we said in the last game. And then Trundle's very good for his pillar so that he can stop people from moving at all in the map. His pillar can actually stop someone from walking at all through one of the entrances into the jungle because they're so narrow in this map.
even a more awkward pick, they banned Nunu. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a big Nunu fan, and I feel Nunu's OP, but I'm also a nut job, and no, I know no one agrees with me.
Yeah, the Nunu
But-
is interesting here. I do not know why you would ban it, because he seems pretty useless.
See, I'm a big Nunu fan. I play Nunus in threes, but I get stomped in threes when I play Nunu. His ult, pretty useless. I mean, it's kind of nice in the jungle, in team fights,
Yeah.
but then you throw out his E, which is a snowball, and then that's all of his damage.
Yeah, I just
And-
feel like they must be banning it here to get rid of a counter for their team comp.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have Kha'Zix on a BYL. Kha'Zix is king of threes. That and Jax, which is
Which
in
is the
CPG.
first pick for CPG. Or, sorry, BYL.
Something that CPG did right now, that we see a lot of threes teams doing in Season 4, is they went all AD. In Season 3, you wouldn't see that. It's pretty much would be a sin in Season 3 to pick all AD.
Yeah, it's a
But now-
very interesting setup, and it pretty much leaves you to either do a duo lane and a single laner, or two single laners and a jungler.
Ah, nice call, Mr. Robot. And the game starts. How do you feel about Orianna and Jarvan?
I feel like blue side, the CPG team comp, is very interesting here because Orianna can shield her ball onto either Malphite or Kha'Zix, and they could both jump in, and then Orianna can ult for very good AoE damage, especially if she puts it on Malphite, because Malphite's ult can send them directly into their team, deal a lot of good AoE magic damage, and knock them all up. That also then leaves Kha'Zix to jump in, deal a lot of damage to everyone else who isn't already dead, and then their team's done.
And like most of the time, when you see a Kha'Zix in threes, he is jungling because of those legendary ganks. And as we see now, this is no different. Kha'Zix has a smite. How do you think BYL is going to react to this?
It'll be interesting, because we also didn't think that their Udyr was going to jungle last game. But they have a very large possibility to have a jungle Jarvan here. The Jace will be very good in bottom lane, because Jace is a very good laner, especially in threes with the extra mana regen. And Jarvan can do very good ganks, because he can pretty much jump 3 screens over whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, in all honesty, Jarvan not the best laner in threes, unless if he's going top. But with these great top laners such as Jax and Jace, I can't see that. And we start off with an early Bush fight. Orianna puts her ball in it to make sure she has sight. They
Yeah.
want no part of that early fight.
Very good call by CPG there to use the ball to basically ward the bush there. A level 1 fight by CPG would have done them really badly, because the only one who can deal good level 1 damage is Kha'Zix. Orianna really has no good damage except her ball movement, which at level 1 actually doesn't deal that much. Then Malphite can't really do much, and then with Kha'Zix, his main damage is from his Q. And unless you're getting a person alone, it deals like 40% less damage. So it's pretty much garbage for a team fight early game.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix, we do have to remember, he is a melee. So he does have to get up in the face of 3 people. So he probably would have been targeted and died as soon as he could do any damage.
Exactly. And then with Jax being able to jump level 1 if he wants to, Jarvan being able to put good poke down level 1, and Jace, who also has good poke level 1, it was a very good call for CPG to stay away from the bush fight there.
Also really nice and something rare, but you just saw a Jarvan leash. You don't see a lot of leashes in threes. I'm guessing since he doesn't have smite and Jarvan doesn't do a lot of damage, it was pretty much essential.
Yeah, it was very interesting because it also gave experience to the 2 laners. So I don't know if they were doing that to give experience to the laners or to start Jarvan off better.
Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both. How do you feel about Malphite in threes?
He's very good for team compositions like what they're trying to do here with the Malphite ball delivery system. He's very good for team fights, but especially laning against someone like a Jax, he's not going to be able to do much in lane.
Yeah, as you can see, actually I'm actually kind of happy with Jax. I mean, with the Malphite, he's putting a good amount of damage on Jax, and we just saw a Jarvan gank bottom lane. Unfortunately, we couldn't see it on our screen, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of those. Those Jarvan ganks are really scary with the EQ combo.
Yeah. This top lane isn't really that surprising, because Jax isn't that good around levels 1 and 2. Once he hits level 3 and he gets all 3 of his moves, he's a lot better of a duelist. But before then, most laners that he'd be going up against can deal more damage. So this Malphite getting good damage off isn't really that big of a surprise.
As we can see, Jarvan being very essential to this team. He got an early game kill, getting first blood, and he took their altar and about to take their own altar. Altar is really important in threes, and he's getting full control early game before even level 3.
Yeah, very good call on their part, because Jax was able to push Malphite back there because he hit level 3. That way, Malphite couldn't contest the altar at all, and Jarvan could capture it and walk away.
Yeah, I'm a big Malphite fan in threes, especially as a tank. I just feel like his utility is made for threes. Yeah. Everything about him is just spells out threes.
Yeah, and especially with things like with their team comp that they're doing here.
Pretty much Malphite, the more armor he builds, the stronger he becomes. Threes is a bruiser dominant game. And as we can see, BYL has nothing but armor. So there's a gank. Kha'Zix ganks, Malphite slows them. Kha'Zix jumps, Kha'Zix doing a lot of damage, he flashes. Though Malphite gets another slow off, and then there goes the exhaust, and Kha'Zix not able to do enough damage, and Malphite finishes it off with a rock that really slippery. Almost thought he was going to get away with that jump he had.
Yeah, Malphite's rock being able to do a lot of damage early game really saved them there. Jax, if he clicked on a further minion, he probably would have gotten away, but Malphite was able to use his early game damage to secure a kill there.
Yeah, really nice by Kha'Zix. Good gank. Especially because Malphite, he can slow consistently and he can steal speed with his Q.
Yeah.
So he's really fast.
Yeah.
So Kha'Zix pretty much can just gank whenever he wants because Malphite is pretty much a slowing, boss. And Kha'Zix, of course, having a slow as well.
And a good call on Kha'Zix's part. He timed that right after Jax had used both his Q and his E to try and fight Malphite. He knew that he wouldn't be able to do much damage to Malphite because Malphite had both his Granite Shield and most of his moves up, so he was able to trade pretty well and take very little damage. So then Kha'Zix was able to jump in and basically destroy Jax.
Yeah, unfortunately though, that gank not doing much because Malphite not able to CS at all. Kha'Zix is going to have to keep ganking. As you see, he's up in the lane right now. Gonna have to put a lot of pressure on that Jax.
Now, it's an interesting thing for this Kha'Zix here, because both their Malphite and the Orianna are going to be pushed out of lane a lot, especially once they hit around level 6 around there, because Jace can then poke a lot and switch his hammer form and deal even better damage right off the bat. Orianna not really able to fight Jace down there, especially with the poke. And then, if he gets close enough, he's able to jump on her and deal a lot of damage.
Kind of shocked that Jarvan's spending a lot of time in the enemy's jungle. Without Smite, he can't really steal anything. So, he's putting a lot of pressure on Kha'Zix. Pretty ballsy move, if you ask me.
Yeah, and an interesting strategy from Jax here when he fights. He's...
Ooh, you see Jax kind of caught out and get sandwiched 3 times. Ooh, Jace with a quick knockback, but not enough. They're very slow, dominant, CPG is.
Yeah.
Oh, CPG not done. Calling for the 2v2. Kha'Zix going in, gets a little bit of sandwich. Doing enough damage to Jace, but not enough. And then Orianna, again, in the middle, trying to get the trying to get the Jace kill. Trying to make something out of it. Even flashes it. She cares nothing about her life. Tries to get out of there. And trying to shield herself. Malphite coming in for the saving. And man, that Orianna dive that should have ended up in a death ends up with a kill and a getaway.
Really bad timing on BYL's part there, because CPG's team comp is really reliant on their post-6 play. A lot of their team fighting strategies is basically just press R. Orianna...
Jarvan with the good gank, not letting Orianna get scot clean free for that.
Yeah, very good call on Jace's part. But CPG is a very ult-reliant team fight. So, like what they did there, they were able to take Jax down with Orianna's ult, and then be able to go after both Jace and Jarvan with Malphite's ult after. Bad timing on BYL's part, because Jax hadn't even hit level 6 yet.
Yeah, I'm really liking this Orianna, though. She's balling up really good. By balling up, I mean her shield, of course. Using her shield really smart, kept her alive and kept Kha'Zix alive long enough to let Kha'Zix do a lot of damage. So she's really a team player. I like it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need here, because their entire team comp is really based off of how well they can fight together.
Jax kind of just snowballing from here. He does have two deaths, no assists, and no kills. But he has 53 mini kills before 10 minutes. Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. He was able to lane quite a bit, because the Malphite was able to be pushed back post level 3, because Malphite wasn't really able to deal as much damage as Jax was once he had all of his moves.
Just getting a 3-man ganked and then getting exhausted with the Malphite slow, I mean, not much you could do there. He wasn't even really pushed, if you ask me, just a really hard gank. I wonder how long they were waiting in that bush for him.
Yeah,
They're just letting Jax just roam up here. I wonder if that kill was worth it. Jax gonna try doing enough damage to it while they're trying to compete for tower. Seems like all 3 of them are still at the altar, and Jax is gonna at least get this bad boy down to pretty low health.
Yeah, I think this is a bad call on CPG's part, because he already has the tower at half health and has much of a minion wave still left. So he'll probably be able to take the tower without much of a contest.
Oh, he's going to do the whole tower diving and hoping that Orianna doesn't do any damage to him. Orianna just needs to get one basic attack to be able to get the assist, and it doesn't look like she... Oh, Close. How do you feel about the 3-man gank? Because they're waiting there for at least a minute while Jax is just up there laning.
I think it was a bad timing. If they were able to do that, when Jax was closer to his own tower, they would have been able to get the kills down bottom for pretty much free. But instead, they did it at a bad time. It took a little too long to do it, so they then allowed Jax to take the tower for pretty much free.
If you just walked in this game right now, you see a Jax 0-3-0, and you're wondering, wow, this Jax is pretty much useless. But in my opinion, he's one of the most essential players in this game right now. He has his tower pushed. He has a bunch of CS. He's about to finish his Bork, and he's helping his team out a lot by doing all these things, such as taking out tower top.
Yeah, he would focused a lot on objectives and pressure control. He was able to pressure Malphite a lot early, so that his team was able to take objectives and kills without the other team being able to do much. A very strategical play by him instead of an all-out brawl like a lot of Jax players normally play it.
Yeah, most definitely. We're seeing again, like I said, bad stats, but I bet you anything next team he's gonna have a couple of kills under his belt.
Yeah, I feel like
he just kind of got unlucky with 3v3s.
Yeah, I feel like even though that CPG has 3 kills here, BYL is still, or sorry, CPG has 4 kills here. BYL is probably still has the gold lead with a tower down and better CS than most of the other team.
Yeah, and we see Jax trying to farm up because he doesn't realize he's 0-3-0. And when his lanes push, he's not just going to stop there. So he's taking Jarvan's jungle. And I'm sure Jarvan could care less. Much rather have a fed Jax than a fed Jarvan.
Especially when he's trying to defend bottom. Because he doesn't need to jungle when he's defending.
Oh, we see a gank here. Orianna feels it. Probably going to jump to her. Jumps. And gets the stun off. I wonder if Orianna has her flash off. Ooh, she also she flashes. And then Kaza comes in. Ooh, Jarvan tries to help out. Doesn't get anything from it.
Actually, a good call on Jarvan's part there to get out of there. He really wouldn't have been able to do much in that fight, even if Jax was higher health. He was really dead pretty much as soon as the other 2 members of the team showed up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jax with an amazing gank, but didn't pay attention that top was going top. I mean, bottom was going top. So, bad call, a good call turns into a bad call pretty quickly.
And again, a lot of what I'm seeing here is good calls, but at the wrong time. Because if he would jumped on Orianna when his team was still fighting the other 2 down bottom, then they wouldn't have been able to come up and fight him at all. But instead, he went to go kill Orianna when his team had let the other team leave already. So, good call, bad time.
Yeah, and we do see Vilma is up now. So we're going to see how CPG uses that smite in order to have some Vilma control, or if they even try for it. We see a ballsy move by Jackson Jarvan, and Jace trying to get Alter. Oh, Jarvan jumps in with a strong initiate. Kha'Zix wants nothing with that. Jace with his pokes. Easy Alter pickup.
Yeah, a good strategy here for BYL is exactly what they're doing, making sure that they've got enough pressure down so that they can put pressure on objectives that they need to get, like those altars.
Yeah, they need to get tower. If they get the bottom tower down, they're going to get a lot more frequent altar pickups now, is what they need, because they don't have a smite, so they can't get Vilma as much as they want. So by picking up this tower, they're going to get a lot more altars, and by getting more altars, they're going to have more jungle control. Malphite going in. They're focusing Malphite. Looks like Jarvan's trying to get out of there, so is Jace. Jax kind of sacrifices himself for no reason.
A bad Orianna ult to start off the fight there, but Malphite, the BYL focusing Malphite was also a really bad call, and it turns out that BYL's call was worse than CPG's.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Jax jumped on Malphite, and then he went with it. He kept trying to do damage. And then Orianna's poking, Jax down. Oh, looks like they're going to return the favor and take their altar and get a kill. So one stupid Jax call turns into 2 kills and an altar.
Yeah, and then soon they're going to be able to get their own altar as well, because BYL isn't going to be able to put pressure fast enough on the other side of the map for CPG to not take the altar.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's 15 minutes in. And for you, Lady Luck Production virgins, what 15 minutes means is that every 15 minutes in, we pick an MBS, what MBS is the most valuable summoner. So, Mr. Robot, in your opinion, who is the most valuable summoner?
I really feel like Orianna is the most valuable summoner in this game. She's had really good team fight plays, and she's also been playing really well for her team, with her shields, her ults, and all around very good damage.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just have reached history in Lady Luck Productions. Me and Mr. Robot are about to have an argument for the first time in our history? Yeah, in our history.
Yep.
I believe that Malphite deserves the MVS. He's extremely aggressive with his Q and queuing the right people, which is turning their losses into wins.
Yeah, I can understand that. I feel like most of CPG is playing really well right now, and you could really argue for most of them.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And there ends the argument. Nice. It looks like they might be taking Vilmar. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in Vilmar right now.
Yeah,
And
especially with the Kha'Zix, who I believe evolved his Q first. They're going to be able to get a lot of good damage off really fast. And they're the team with Smite, so they can take this Vilemaw really fast if they're there right now.
We just saw Kha'Zix go bottom for a quick second, and then he disappeared from the mini-map. So they are not in Vilmar right now. But it would have been a good time to take it. Oh! And there he jumps off, of course, with the slow. Oh, Malphite ults, and then Kha'Zix finishes it up. Really nice from Malphite in using his ult. Really smart. Jax probably would have gotten away.
Yeah, and something that BYL seems to be doing a lot this game is that they really need to, when the other team is gone, remember that they're gone. You don't know where they are. So if you walk by two bushes, they could jump at you and kill you within a half a second. So you have to remember that when you're walking around the map. Otherwise, you're just going to give them free kills.
Yeah, I was actually scared for Jax. I had no idea they were both in there. Oh, Jarvan jumps at Jax. And doesn't work out.
See, and at this point, it's kind of hard for BYL to fight CPG at all, especially in between the junglers, because CPG is just so much more fed off of kills and general.
Ooh, Jarvan jumps in. Really bad timing though, because he waited till they poked him down. Then Jax goes in. They're going one by one. Jax a little bit bruisery. Tries to take out Kha'Zix. Has Ignite on him. Probably not going to do anything though. Jay's pretty much running from his life from this Malphite. Don't know where the rest of his team is though. And knocks him back, but he does get the Q off, so he does get that little life steal. Orianna's coming. Jay's running for his life. Looks like Malphite's going to stop committing, and then Orianna runs away with Malphite.
Yeah, and again, BYL is making bad calls on who they fight in team fights. They were dealing a lot of damage there to Malphite, while Jax tried jumping on the Orianna to kill her, while Kha'Zix literally just blew up Jarvan.
Yeah, they went in one by one. And this was after Jarvan has just taken a bunch of pokes and half his health was gone. So why Jarvan initiated at the time he did is beyond me. And why Jax would go in after the Jarvan was exploded down, again, beyond by me.
I just think that this Jax is overestimating his team's damage a little much, because he thought he was going to kill Orianna there, but he also probably thought that Kha'Zix wasn't going to be able to come and dive at him with over 3/4 health.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that team fight does get Kha'Zix on the borderline of maybe fed. Kha'Zix is getting up there. Looks like they're probably gonna oh, Jax gets a stun off. Malphite pretty tanky though. Doesn't matter. Jace misses his skill shot. Kha'Zix going in. Ooh, burst down Jax. Jax flashes away. Jarvan ults, gets all three of them. Jace flashes out of the ult. Jarvan kills Kha'Zix. Really lucky. They focused Jax, and then once Jax jumped out, they were confused and didn't know who to focus after that.
Yeah, a good one-for-one fight there. Jax actually got out of there with 12 health, so literally less than a tenth of an auto attack from most of the people on their teams would have killed him.
Ooh, Kha'Zix almost getting the kill with his skill shot. I was actually shocked on the lack of communication with CPG. They've been really good in communication. That time, not so well. They were focusing Jax. Then once Jax was untargetable, they looked like lost puppies.
See, I think that one thing there was what they expected to happen didn't happen. They wanted that kill of Jax and kind of went to go chase for it. But because they chased, they were able to get killed by BYL.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Malphite getting really tanky too, but now so is Jarvan. It's nice when you have two tanks and threes. It makes the game more enjoyable. You get a lot more team fights this way.
Yeah, you're able
So
to have two front lines that can stand there and make it a little more of a dancing game instead of an all-out brawl. A little more strategery.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Jace missing his skill shot a lot in these team fights.
Yeah, there was even one team fight where he managed to thread it through the head of a needle that was right in between Orianna and Malphite. I don't know how he did it, but he missed it.
Ooh, nice rhetorical strategies with the head of the needle. Liking it. Um, he is. It looks like Jax is going to get a Randuin, and Jax is going to try soloing Vilma right now, which looks like it should be pretty successful. And then he jumps out because he sees Kha'Zix coming.
I can understand the armor from the Warden's Mail to try and build into Randuin's, but the passive of Warden's Mail is it slows someone who puts auto attacks on you. No one on the other team is really an auto attack damage heavy champion. They're all really spells and crowd control. So the passive on that is kind of worthless.
It just shows you how scared he is of Kha'Zix, I guess. But even then, Kha'Zix isn't that basic attack hungry. So, maybe kind of a wasted slot. Ah, now we have the little dancing. The dancing begins. Let's see who has the bigger balls, Malphite or Jarvan.
An interesting evolution path for Kha'Zix. He picked his Q, his jump, and then his spikes. I'm not entirely sure why he would pick his spikes here, because normally when you evolve your Void Spikes, you're trying to farm a lot. And we're already 22 minutes, almost 23 minutes into the game. If he hasn't farmed enough by now, he's not going to need it.
Well, something like you mentioned earlier is there's a lot of dancing, right? And Orianna's a great poker. So the thing what Kha'Zix is doing is he's trying to, while the dancing is going on, he's trying to get as much pokes as possible. Maybe that's why he evolved his spikes first. Ooh, Malphite trying to initiate with Jax. Jax trying to save his butt by Malphite jumps in with the ult. Kha'Zix gets in with his ult, does enough damage to get Jax, and Jax just gets unlucky and gets just smashed by a Malphite slow and a bunch of Kha'Zix damage. Oh, and then Jace tries to chase Orianna for some reason. Beyond me what he was thinking.
Yeah,
Beyond
bad team fight calls here by BYL. That is given CPG now 13 kills to BYL's 4 is really just been feeding CPG for them to be able to put pressure everywhere and just take more objectives.
This Malphite is doing a really good job in picking them off one by one. And it's getting Kha'Zix fed. And Orianna's just kind of standing downstairs looking pretty and, distracting.
Yeah, especially when they can do things like what they did there with the Jax. He was able to ult on Jax, and Kha'Zix was able to jump in and kill him right away.
Surprisingly, there has been no Vilma pickups today. Even though Kha'Zix does have a smite, but it seems like it's just constant fighting, so there hasn't been time.
Yeah, I feel like CPG, if they want a good team fight, they could take Vilma extremely easily. It's just I don't know why they haven't done that after any good fights.
It's like a picture. It's happened several times. Jax tries to take Vilma, someone comes in, Jax gets scared, run away. I mean, it's happened I think at least 4 times.
And even when CPG does show up to contest Vilma, they all end up leaving anyway. I feel like if they put more pressure around the map, they could really take Vilma and snowball this out of control.
Yeah, CPG just showing really good dominance, just all around. And again, BYL being all AD, it's really easy for a Malphite to build against. That's why he's so tanky.
Yeah, it turns out that the front line for CPG is just a really giant brick wall, and BYL is just throwing tennis balls at it. It's not really doing much.
Aha, nice. With another rhetorical strategy, Kha'Zix trying to take the Vilma after Jax catches him. Jax catches him again, and it looks like Kha'Zix isn't going to go back in.
Good call on Kha'Zix there to back off. He didn't know where any of BYL was, so they very easily could have jumped on him and killed him if he stayed.
You can see both teams though hungry for that Vilma. They keep contesting it. They do see a Malphite. Malphite's really cocky, kind of nervously. Oh, we're waiting for his rest of his team to show up. Malphite ults out, does his job by being a tank. Kha'Zix and Orianna in there. No one's focusing Orianna. Orianna just going ham. Kha'Zix does die though, and then leaving Jarvan to take damage. Jax gets killed, and it's just an Orianna and Jarvan on this map. Orianna not scared of the Jarvan one so bit, but Jarvan does get lucky and QEs out of there.
Now, see there, CPG was able to follow what their team comp was supposed to do to the key, to the letter. She put the ball, Orianna put the ball on Kha'Zix, and he jumped directly in the middle of all three players on BYL. They were all pulled in and dealt a lot of good damage. The only problem was that Malphite got caught out beforehand.
See, yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. If Malphite would have not got caught in so early, that would have been an easy CPG win. It just got caught in so early. I feel like BYL was smelling what they were cooking, and decided let's jump on this guy before we get ganked because it's coming sooner or later.
Yeah, I feel BYL had a little too much, or was trying to put a little too much spice in there though, and got two of their players killed.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I guess you could kind of call that BYL maybe catching up again.
They seem to be catching up a little bit. But between the 9-kill disparity and really all of the objectives even, I would have to say that CPG is still in a little bit of a lead.
Malphite taking a skill shot right to the face of Jace. Does no damage. Jarvan goes straight in. Ooh, Jace takes the half health of Orianna with one skill shot. Unable to do any damage to Malphite, but man, that skill shot can do a lot of damage to that Orianna. Now they're going to contest for Altar. It's going to be a good old 3v3. Jarvan going in. They're trying to focus Jace. Jax is trying to take out Kha'Zix by himself. Then it's a 2v2 up top. And then now they get a sandwich from Malphite. Jax jumps out before he dies. Jace is probably going to get back in to do a little bit of damage. Malphite's pretty tanky though. Don't think he 3v3 them, but he should be able to get out of there. But yeah, he gets a little cocky.
Very good calls on BYL's part here. They basically took their team comp and played it out exactly how it should go. Jax was able to split Kha'Zix off of the group, and Kha'Zix wasn't able to kill anyone. Jax can fight anyone 1v1 whenever he feels like it. So he was able to fight Kha'Zix there and kill him, and not allow him to deal any damage for the good team fight comp that the other team has.
I don't know what Malphite was doing. He's a tank and he tried to 3v1 them right there. Like, what's up, buddy? That's not an MVS material.
Yeah, I feel like it was poor communication on CPG's part. They could have easily had a very good team fight there, but they allowed their team to get separated and taken out easily.
We are seeing the dominance of having a Jarvan on your team. Those initiates are strong, and he's doing a lot of damage to that Orianna. And then we are going to see probably the first Vilma kill, unless the Orianna tries to get funky, and it looks like she does. Jace gets a little bit of a skill shot, putting a little bit of damage on. And then Jax is going to try jumping in there, but it looks like Jace is going to do another Jarvan ult, and now it's going to be a 2v3. Jax taking a lot of damage by the Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix got exploded down by Jace's explosive damage, and now it's a 3v1 again. Jax being focused the whole time and not dying.
Yeah, a big problem for CPG here is that they allowed BYL's late game composition to make it into the late game. If CPG did a lot of good early game team fights and took out the BYL's team without them being able to put pressure anywhere, CPG could have taken the game easily. BYL was able to get all relatively late game champions to a good place, and then able to push like this.
Man, CPG having a legendary game but not able to finish it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sparthus.
And I'm Mr. Robot.
And this is